Well, hey everybody, I'm the Crockett Cooner, and this is the Crockett Coonhound Show, and you've made it to Fireside Chats with the old Cooner. It's December about the 31st, I think. It's right here before New Year's. And guys, I'm going to tell you, it's time that I make this particular video, and I'm just going to entitle it Weather in the Southern United States, because here at the Crockett Coonhound Show, that's one thing. We're all into outdoors. We're into survival and things. I do know that I have a ton of folks that follow me from elsewhere in the world. A lot of folks from the northern United States, folks from Alaska, folks from Canada, where you guys experience major amounts of snow and ice. And I'm pretty sure that you will kind of find this video a bit humorous, right? And especially for my followers that are now here in the particular area of the South where I'm located, that is southern Middle Tennessee. But guys, it is obvious to myself, to Scooter, to lots of other people that we are experiencing a lot of different climate change here in the southern United States. We also have a ton of folks that are moving to places like Nashville, Tennessee, a ton of folks that are moving to places like Knoxville, and not all of these folks are from like Canada or Alaska or New York, you know, and a lot of them are from areas that are, you know, a bit warmer. We actually do have a lot of folks from down around the Florida area that have moved up to southern Middle Tennessee, and, you know, North Alabama, North Georgia, North Mississippi, Kentucky, over into the Carolinas, a lot of folks, all right? And that is why I'm making this video, guys, because now there's a few things that you have to understand about snow and ice and what that means for you if you live in the southern United States, okay? Now, guys, we do not experience near the snow load in temperatures and climate and things that folks in Alaska do. I mean, I'm sure somewhere there's been people here in the South that's possibly had the water in the kitchen sink freeze with the dishes in it, but I doubt it. Very seriously. Yeah, I mean, if they have, it's few and far between. And, you know, for our folks in Alaska, well, you guys just call that Tuesday. You know, that's a normal thing. You guys are used to the permafrost, and you can drive on this, and folks are used to changing tires on the car for weather conditions like that. And, you know, if there was snow and ice, they're not going to call off school and things like that. But this becomes quite a very interesting point for folks that have come from places like Canada, Alaska, to the southern U.S. This becomes quite an interesting point for people that are from like Southern California that have moved to our area, because, well, they all expect different things. And as a native of southern Middle Tennessee, I'm going to tell you guys some things that you need to keep in mind and why you need to keep them in mind. Just a few years back, there in Texas, they experienced a lot of snow and ice. Those folks were not used to that. And I did, in fact, do my due diligence, guys. And I helped a young lady. I don't recall if it was, I believe it was over on a different platform. But her pipes in her kitchen had busted. And she made a little video, and she was sitting on her bed crying. And all she said was, I want you guys to look at this. And she walked down the hallway, and there was about a foot, about knee deep maybe, yeah, knee deep, water in her sunken kitchen. And all she said was, it just won't stop coming out of the pipe. And she didn't know what to do, and nobody could get there to help her. And myself and a couple of other fellows, we made some videos, we reposted it. We actually taught this young lady how to go out and turn the main water valve off, and then to get the water out of the house. So that's my point, guys. With all this that we're experiencing, a few things that you need to know, because For instance, if you're in our area in southern Middle Tennessee, guys, we've always got a little snow and ice, but nothing like what they would have, any of you folks would have in somewhere like New York, somewhere like that. As soon as snow and ice is in the forecast, number one, if you have children, they're going to call off school, all right? Because we have a lot of hilly type of terrain. People slide off and things. It's not, we're not equipped in many of the southern United States. They do, in fact, go out, clear interstates, clear highways. They put down the de-icer. But as we know, it doesn't do really well until the temperature gets above freezing. But it has to be pretty good snow loads and things before you see people going out, clearing parking lots and things like that. Sometimes just pulling off of a major highway into a parking lot can become a problem, okay? And if it's really, really bad, there will be people that will go up. You'll see the little skid steers and things, and they'll do what they can to clean it out so people can get in. But I actually just wrote a post on this elsewhere on the internet, and I thought, I need to dedicate a video to it, because it comes as a shocker many times for folks that are from way on up north, and you guys have moved south because, income and things, the price of living's a bit cheaper. But it comes as a shocker because you do, in fact, know how to drive on snow and ice. You do, in fact, just call that type of weather Tuesday, And when school closes, when you have to sit there many times a week without power, you're all kind of sitting around going, what is going on here with these people in the South? And, it's just things that you're not even accustomed to, being out of, your utilities and things there at your home. Also, for many folks that have come from further down south, that have come from like SoCal, places like that, it kind of comes as a shocker to everybody that it is possible. Now, I do know that Scooter, one time, as I've mentioned on a lot of other videos, guys, he grew up way out where it was rural, very rural, way out, 45 minutes outside of town type of thing. And I know many times where he would be out of power 2 or 3 weeks out there, still trying to get ready because they had opened school back up, and he's trying to figure out how to get to school when we were young people. So things that you need to know, kind of a supply list, and that's what the old Cooner here is going to tell you guys. It's always good to stock up on things like batteries, especially for things like flashlights, okay? Outside generators, there are homes here in the southern U.S. that have those. You want to make sure they're working. If they run off of gas, you want to make sure you have a good supply of that. It's not a bad idea in your cars and things, especially here in southern Middle Tennessee. A lot of folks up in the Nashville area, they have to try to still get out and go to work a lot of times. Not a bad idea to have things with you such as tow ropes, chains, jumper cables. Because if you are in rural areas, guys, very rural areas in Tennessee, maybe you yourself are an emergency person and you're new to the area, it is possible that you won't be able to make it to work. If there are trees and things across the road, compared to a lot of the northern states, we don't have a group of people that are out just continuously doing that, cutting it up. Where I'm located, guys, it's the power company and the highway department, and they're not as equipped as they are in more of the northern states. So it's possible to be stuck in your home if you're new. So a little gas for the old chainsaw and things, keeping the blade sharp. Not a bad idea, guys, in case something falls over your driveway, you need to get out. It's not a bad idea. There's other things. A lot of folks that come from further up north, you guys were used to it. You brought the clothing and stuff, and you're like, hey man, this is not cold, guys. But one thing that you might keep in mind is to definitely, keep some stuff around in case you do have to get out, because especially here in southern Middle Tennessee, guys, if you slide off the road and you're in a rural area, there may not be anybody driving by. And that is a thing, guys. A lot of, in our area, there's a lot of low water bridges, meaning that the road actually dips down and goes across a creek. You literally drive through the water. And when you add snow and ice to that in below freezing temperatures, that can become quite an issue. So, there's certain things. I did, in fact, put it on a post just a few moments ago elsewhere on the internet before I made this fireside chat video. And this comes as a shocker to everyone. In the southern United States, guys, if you do not know and you're watching me, just make sure you know that the old Cooner told you first. If there's snow and ice in the forecast, all right, and you are just going to go grocery shopping, bread, milk, and eggs will be almost impossible to find. As soon as there's snow in the forecast, they will clean the shelves out because many folks know that the kids will be home with them. And if they get hungry, they can fix them a sandwich. But there's other things to remember now. That's something I'm going to get into here, guys. If your home does not have things like solar power or outside generators, especially here in the southern U.S., if the power goes out for a week, you don't have gas heat, you don't have any way to cook anything. One thing to definitely stock up on is propane for the grill, charcoal for the grill, wood chips for the grill. That way, if you have to do the old run back and forth in and out of the house, you can in fact have a hot meal. If you want to heat up some soup, you can heat it up out back on the grill. That's why I'm always talking about the cast iron, guys. Remember, you can use it inside on a stove, or you can use it in the oven. And you can also use it on an open flame out back. So Lodge Logic, if you're new to the Tennessee area, they make some pretty doggone good cast iron. Well, they're not a affiliate of ours or anything. I just love their products. I talk a lot about them. I've got a lot of it. But guys, there's other things like that to kind of keep in mind that many times people overlook for folks that need to take medications or that type of thing, have medical emergencies. Many times in the southern U.S., especially in rural areas, the emergency personnel will come, but what would normally be a 10-minute drive to your home for these guys may turn into a 30 or 45-minute drive. So medications and things are not a bad idea to stock up on. Also, for folks, much like the young lady that I mentioned at the front of this video, the homes and things in the southern U.S. are constructed differently than what they are for folks further north in places like Canada. We're not used to the snow load, guys, and many times you will see things happen such as pipes bust and break, and that's a southern thing. Always remember, when it's going to snow and ice over, guys, it is plants, pipes, and pets. You need to keep those in mind. And many times, if you do in fact have a pipe bust open, there's water everywhere, definitely a way to turn the water off, or maybe even a few extra little fittings and things in case you need to replumb something yourself there in your home. A few other little things that need to be on the supply list, guys, besides just medicine and that type of thing. When it comes to stocking up on foods and things, now I did mention bread, milk, and eggs, guys, but one thing is food that can be eat that doesn't have to be heated up. I have in times past, I'll tell you guys a little experience. I believe it was about 94. I believe it was. We had a big ice storm here in the southern U.S. Power went out. I did see people literally, as their deep freezes and things were starting to melt over a 2-week period, I watched them take the food and set it outside because the temperatures was so cold it would refreeze it. So the thing is foods and things like that you can in fact eat that don't need to be really heated up. Things from cans, and then definitely a good can opener to get it open. Nothing would be worse than having an electric can opener and you can't open the cans. So, I know that we normally touch on outdoor things, but that is another point that I would like to mention in this video, guys, for folks that are new to the southern U.S. This past year, we did have a pretty good snow for us. It's really nothing for you guys up north, but we had a pretty good one. Myself and Scooter noticed tons of folks talking about they're not worried about it. They're going to start burning wood in the fireplaces and things. And especially here in our particular area, a lot of older homes. A good thing to remember is if wood hasn't been burned in a fireplace, guys, in years, even if the top of it's capped off, while it's not snowed and iced over, I want to take a moment, have somebody come over, maybe sweep it, maybe inspect the old flue pipe, maybe check out the chink in between the bricks, because that's how house fires start, and that's never good, especially when the emergency personnel are having difficult times getting to your location, and they will in snow and ice because, North Alabama, southern Middle Tennessee, North Georgia, North Mississippi, we have a lot of up and down terrain, and it's hard for us to get across it when it ices over. So these are just things to remember, guys. I know in times past on different platforms, I've had a ton of folks that follow me, and a lot of them I've asked them, where are you guys from? Oh, well, they were from Alaska, they were from New York, they're from Michigan. Well, you guys are a bit more equipped, but it seems to be kind of interesting to you when we do get a good 2-day snow and they call school off. So, just things like that. What you going to do with the kids? They don't have to go to school. Who's going to stay with them? That type of thinking, guys. But I just wanted to stop, talk a little outdoor stuff. Definitely get your cast iron. If you need to heat up something, you can heat it up out back on the old cast iron. And I wanted to inform all of my followers that were new to the southern United States to definitely, if you're in an area where they're getting snow and ice and they're not used to these big snows and ices, we've had some nice ones in the time past, but not like we're experiencing now, to definitely, kind of go through, get your winter supply list ready. So that being said, I say it all the time, guys, stay safe on the water, stay safe in the woods, and definitely stay tuned here at the Crockett Coonhound Show. Myself and Scooter will have you guys another video dropping shortly. You guys have a great day.